Ladies and gentlemen, we have returned to geek out a little bit on some anime. I'm going to talk to you about a little unknown anime. Really, nobody talks about it. Knights and Magic. And we are going to, I'll be honest, we're going to shit on it a little bit. We're going to honestly say the royal we, that this anime was really, really not good. Really. But we'll be fair first. We'll go into the positives and then we'll bleed the negatives out near the end. Positives, pros. What are we looking at here? There are some pretty great visuals in this series. It's not the best, of course, but enjoyable. It stays pretty damn fluid. It's only 13 episodes long. There's no season 2 as far as I've ever heard of, and I doubt there will ever be. But from a visual perspective, from an aesthetic perspective, it is a pretty darn nice anime. There's some pretty phenomenal mech scenes where we get some mechas fighting against some giant monsters. That was really great. I would have to say, from a purely pro perspective, we look at the first 4 episodes-ish, 5 maybe. It's actually pretty fun. Our main character is, of course, someone who comes from the modern real world and is reincarnated, so to speak, in the body of a young child in a fantasy world. And in this fantasy world, there are these giant creatures and monsters, insects, and all these things. And the way we fight back against them is with mecha, with these giant robots. And of course, our main character was a coder. He's this giant geek, super smart. Now he's been born into a world where his dreams can come true and he can make robots, and that's all he wants to do. And he happens to have the talent for magic that allows him to go into that. And so he goes to a school where they teach magic, and eventually you can become a robot warrior. You can become one of these night runners who can go into these robots and fight. But he wants to make his own. He wants to make everything better, cooler. And of course, to his size, because he's very tiny and he can't reach the controls. Stupid. Just so stupid. But when the series begins and it's kind of focused on him first finding his magic and kind of developing some stuff and fighting against these giant creatures, it's pretty good. It's kind of fun. His overall, the whole monster thing works with the robots. But then as soon as the series leaves that and goes off to like political machinations and them fighting against other kingdoms with the robots, it just becomes stupid. Our main character has no development whatsoever. First of all, he doesn't age, which keeps it a little bit awkward that he looks like a 12-year-old. 2, people keep confusing him for a girl. 3, there's girls throwing themselves at him, but it's very awkwardly done. Luckily, there's not really much in the way of ecchi in this series, so that kind of keeps the awkwardness at a low minimum. If there would have been ecchi, I would have just dropped it just because their main character looks like a little child. He is a child, really. The robot fights really get, they get kind of dull near the end. So I would say watch this series for the first 4 episodes, and then after just drop it. Just drop it. Sorry, I'm getting attacked in the eyeballs by something. Ugh. 1 second. Gotta get the old stupefy cup. Harry Potter love. Ooh, almost died there. Almost died. So, again, from a visual perspective, if you want to just kind of shut your brain off and enjoy some action, check it out. It's a relatively aesthetically pleasing anime, but overall the character development is pretty much non-existent. There are no interesting side characters. No one gets any backstory. No one gets any development in the slightest. Our main character is just, everything comes easily to him. There's no development of him whatsoever. He just creates new magic, creates new robots. He just is the way he is. He's just massively OP. You don't even see him growing older, so you don't care as much. It's just like this little child who comes out of nowhere and knows everything, and boom, he destroys. And so it's an OP otaku fan dream, but that's not portrayed well. It's just not. Our villains are uninteresting. There is nothing really happening whatsoever. Nothing makes you care about the world. And the one interesting aspect, the monsters, you only see a tiny bit and then they're gone. They become completely moot to the story for the rest of the series. So I don't really get what the author was trying to do with this. I don't know if maybe the manga is that much better and develops things in a completely different way. Sometimes anime do have a habit of wrecking what a manga was trying to do completely. So I will give possible leeway to the manga, but from a purely anime perspective, this is one of the worst animes I've seen, and it's worse just because of the potential that was there. There could have been something really interesting there, and instead it's just sort of a OP dream that serves no purpose because nothing's really happening. Nothing really happens at all throughout the entire series, except them making more robots and then fighting and then making more robots and then fighting, and then nothing happens. There's no risk because more robots and fighting. It's unfortunate when this happens. So I would give this 6 on 10 just because aesthetically there's some pretty cool scenes. But other than that, I would not waste my time in general with this. But if you're really, really bored and really, really lacking in anime, it's 13 episodes. You can kind of blow through it quickly. And at least you'll get a little bit of a fix of combat. Let me know what you think down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out the website geektales.ca. Thanks again for checking my stuff out. Peace.